Hey folks, Cornell with YouTube Fishing Vids. Welcome aboard. I'm out here in my local lake, my favorite spot, my closest spot. So I'm out here as often as I can get, just to get some fishing in on these busy days outside of my normal living schedule. So if y'all didn't know, I'm proudly sponsored by Mystery Tackle Box. So happily, I've got my second Mystery Tackle Box Slam attempt ready to go on today. And so this is a September box, and the first item pulled out of the box is the Denny Brauer structure jig, and we're going to throw that out here on some deep water structure. If you see off in the distance, I've already marked a spot where I have a little hump. It's got a little cover, and that's the first bait we're going to throw today. So hang in there, let's see how we do. Okay, so got the green pumpkin slash brown slash looks like a little bit of red fleck in there, teamed up with a net bait little craw trailer. That's in a looks like a green pumpkin red fleck. It's like the perfect match. You can't really get any better than that when it comes to matching your trailer to your skirt. So 1/2 ounce structure jig. I'm going to scent that up with a little crawfish scent. We're going to throw it out on the structure, and I've got it teamed up with my Shimano Claris rod. The Shimano Claris rod's a reasonably priced point, 7-foot medium heavy, and I got that teamed up with my Lew's Speed Spool, Team Lew's Pro Z. So I've got that all lined up with some Seagar and VizX and 15-pound test. So we're going to get at it, see what we can do. Hang in there, guys. Let's see what's going on out here today. Okay, gave that first spot a gallant effort here with the jig. Great piece of structure with a little bit of cover on it. They're just not biting. So we're going to move on, try another spot, see if we can get something to grab this jig. So how can you pass up a piece of cover like this? This is the quintessential piece of hard cover that we'd like to pitch to. So I'm going to get right out here a little deeper. There's a weed edge there, so I'm going to pitch out in front of it, let it sink to the bottom, and see if we got something down there. Okay, no bites on the hard cover. So we're going to go ahead and throw this little grassy point right here. I'm going to throw it up shallow, swim it, let those little net bait craw trailers do a little action like a swim jig, and then I'm going to drop it down right on the weed edge in the deeper water and see if something picks it up if it doesn't grab it on the first cast. Okay, so the grassy points aren't producing. Like you guys have seen in many of my videos, this is a pretty finessey lake. A jig will catch them. It's going to be a little bit more work to get them to bite. It's going to be a little more work to find them. And this jig will definitely produce. We just got to get on top of the fish that really want to eat a bigger profile bait. So let's get on them. Okay, folks, as I make my way down the lake to try and find the perfect scenario for that jig, I'm not going to pass up on some of these other awesome spots like windy points and things like this to fish the next bait that's coming out of the Mystery Tackle Box. And that happens to be, if I can get it unwound, that jig wants to actually stick with me. It doesn't want to let go of my rod. First time throwing a jerkbait in a while, guys. That's the 3DB Yozuri jerkbait. It's about a 3 3/4. It's not about. It is a 3 3/4 inch jerkbait floating. So the water temperatures are still in the mid 70s. I get to work this a little faster than normally. Normally, when you're throwing those jerkbaits in the late fall and early spring, the water's cold. You're giving a long pause. You're working those suspending jerkbaits. This is a floater. So this little guy on this windy point should really get some attention with these fish getting active in the early fall. So here we go. Let's see if I can work this one out and catch something. So specifically the setup, guys, this is the Lew's Custom Speed Stick, the exact same make and model minus the action. This is actually their jerkbait special. So this is the jerkbait special Lew's Custom Speed Stick. It's a 6-foot, let me remind myself, it's been a while, 6'7" medium action with a moderate fast taper. So I've got that paired up with my Lew's Speed Spool Team Lew's Light with 12-pound test fluorocarbon, and it is it's the perfect combination for this jerkbait. It's specifically made for it. So we're gonna get out here and get it done, we hope. It's a little shorter rod, a little shorter handle, so those jerks are really easy to manage. Nothing gets in the way of the forearm when you're doing your little snaps. All right, we're moving on. That point didn't produce. We've got some good conditions over there, but these finicky reservoir bass of mine aren't too keen on chasing all that much just yet, but I'm sure there's a couple fish out there that might be interested. So let's move on to the next situation and see if we can pull something out of that Mystery Tackle Box that gets their interest. How many of you guys love square bill fishing? It's about that time. I think the Mystery Tackle Box came up with a good one, especially for my super clear reservoir here. What do we got in here? There it is, Livingston lures, guys. We've got the Livingston lure Dive Master Junior. in a true bream color. It's like a ghost color. This thing is going to be absolutely money for this lake. Now, again, we got to determine whether or not today is a day for a square bill, but we got to try. So let me show you exactly how I got that rigged up. All right, folks, there it is. How pretty a bait is that? All right, the true bream color in the Livingston lure square bill on my St. Croix Premier 6.5 foot medium moderate action crankbait rod. So that's the absolute perfect rod for a little crankbait like this. I've got an old school smoke reel. That's a Quantum Smoke in a I think it's a 6.2 to 1, 6.3 to 1 gear ratio. Yep, 6.3 to 1. So 12-pound test. Seaguar and VizX fluorocarbon. This thing is ready to rock. So I've got some hard cover over here. I've got some wood. I've got some grass. I'm going to throw it up shallow, see if anything's interested in eating a square bill today. Another awesome bait coming out of the mystery tackle box for September. Not to mention, I got a little shade over here. I got the wind blowing right out onto this point, and here comes some really good hard cover. About 0 to 4 foot diver here, depending on the line and what angle you put your rod tip at. So if any of you folks aren't familiar with Livingston lures, they utilize the EBS technology, which is the electric bait fish sounds. So if you're lucky enough to get yourself a mystery tackle box and you're lucky enough to get hold of one, all you're going to do is touch the 2 little metal O-rings right there and hold those to your ear and you'll hear it. Only lure company in the world doing something like that. So might be that one extra added bonus to your lure that might get you that extra bite that you need. As you folks can see, there's a lot of weeds up here in the shoreline, a lot of hard cover, but those weeds are still inundating the shoreline. So square bill is not quite the ticket yet here, but there are some riprap areas, there are some areas near a bridge, there is some hard cover with less weeds that would be ideal for the square bill. So we're going to keep on moving. Once we get to those spots, we're going to continue to break out some of these lures coming out of this mystery tackle box and see if we can actually pull off a couple. To give you guys an idea of exactly what's going on today, I got out here at about 11 o'clock, so I had a busy morning. The day was too perfect. You know, I have maybe 3 hours to get out here and fish, and that includes time getting back to the ramp and getting back loaded up and getting in the car. So I might get barely 2 hours of fishing time out of this today. So if anything, you guys are going to get out of this whole routine what I'm doing with the baits that I'm getting out of the mystery tackle box, kind of like what I did in my first mystery tackle box attempt. We really didn't catch much there, but guys, these mystery tackle box options, these subscriber based options are such great options. I'm out here all the time doing the drop shot, doing the shaky head, doing a lot of finesse techniques, but the days that I get out here throwing all kinds of different baits, I've gone out here and thrown big swim baits, I've challenged myself with the big old monster zoom worms, and I've had some productive days. Nothing as crazy as it can get with the drop shots and the finesse ideas, but it's still fun to get out here and see what we can do. In the mystery tackle box, Pro Box specifically today, is loaded with the exact kind of baits I need for my clear pressured reservoir if I'm going to be playing the power fishing game. I've got the jig in there, I've been playing that a little bit, but that's still a bigger profile bait than the bass are used to seeing out. Well, I should say that are used to biting out here when it comes to what they seem to want. But we're going to keep at it, we're going to keep going, we're going to hit this next point and see what else we pull out of this little mystery tackle box. Okay folks, I've got this shady little bank right here with the wind blowing. I'm going to get that jerkbait out and see if I can throw a couple casts up against this shoreline. It's not got the weeds up too high, so with this floating, shallow running jerkbait zipped across the top of their heads, maybe we'll get a little tension. Let's see what I can do. So as I work this jerkbait, I'm throwing it up pretty shallow. The weeds are just barely under the surface, real shallow, so I'm throwing away from the bank just a hair. So when I do my first crank down, I'm not catching weeds, not getting anything in these treble hooks. But the retrieve is pretty easy. Get right up on the shoreline, just about 10 feet out, reeling it down a couple drops, and it's a pretty quick snap. With a floating jerkbait, you're not trying to work the suspending action, you're trying to get them to react to it. So I'm doing pretty quick snaps and not pausing it hardly at all. 75-degree water, if they're going to catch it, they're going to catch it. Okay, so I'm fishing fast, but I'm fishing thorough. From shorelines to points to windy points to hard cover. I'm pretty much covering it all. The mystery tackle box has got me covered on pretty much all bases. 2 more baits coming out of here in a second, and as soon as we get to this next point, I'm going to show you the next, so hang tight. Okay folks, ready for the 4th bait out of the mystery tackle box? Pretty awesome deal. This is the soft plastic that came in here. There it is, B8 Lab 5-inch swim bait. This is an incredible color. This color is going to be perfect for this lake. I've got bluegill in here, and that's one of the main staple forages for these bass. So I'm going to set this up on my underspin. So let's go ahead and get that rigged up and show you what I got. In one of my recent videos, I had a really good time throwing a swim bait on a swarming hornet underspin, just their fish head spin. That was a half ounce, but that was on a little bit heavier swim bait. This is actually a little bit more streamlined, thinner profiled swim bait, 5-inch. It looks like a watermelon red fleck, but I went ahead and dipped the tail. That's gonna give a little glow, just like you'd see those little bluegills swimming around with that little bright tail that they have. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that along some weed edges right on this point. There's a little bit of wind, so we're gonna see if we can pull something off. This is a great little bait to cover water and let sink down to the depths where you see fish if you're lucky enough to have a depth finder. And I did mark some fish, so let's see if they want to eat. Here's a little close-up action of what that looks like in the water. That little kicking tail with a ribbed body. That little chartreuse dip tail really helps to enhance the action of that tail. All right, I made my way to some riprap. Now we get to look at the very last lure out of the Mystery Tackle Box Pro for September, and it's a good one. It's a little finesse sexy shad crankbait by Skinny Bear, the Speedy 2.25. So it's a 2.25-inch sexy shad little shallow, maybe medium shallow diving crankbait. So we're going to put this on in the sexy shad. My lake doesn't really have any shad in it, but it doesn't matter. This is a reaction bite, guys. So I'm going to be throwing up against these rocks in this riprap. See if we can get something on this. I'll be able to actually throw that square bill by Livingston out here on the riprap. I'll be able to drag the jig, and I'll be able to throw that little jerkbait and swim bait around these rocks and even by this bridge piling. So we got a perfect spot here to try almost everything out of this Mystery Tackle Box. So let's get right at it. I'll tie it on and show you what I'm using. This Skinny Bear crankbait is beautiful. This is just an absolutely awesome design, a little almost flat-sided tapering deal. I'm super sticky hook, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. And I've shown this in some past videos, guys, but I'm a big proponent of using snaps. This is the Owner hyper welded quick snap. So the hyper welded quick snap is tied right onto my 12-pound test on the same exact rod reel combo that I showed you that I was using for the Livingston square bill. So I just unsnapped the Livingston, took off the O-ring, and there I go. I'm good to go. For speed and efficiency, there's nothing wrong with the snap, guys. They work the same way an O-ring does, and in fact makes you that much more efficient on the water. So if you've never thought to use quick snaps for jerk baits and crankbaits and things like that, especially if you're a tournament angler, it really speeds things up. But there we go. We're ready to go with the fourth bait right out of the Mystery Tackle Box. That's Skinny Bear 2.25. See what I can do up on some of this riprap. Okay, so on this riprap, I'm gonna go back and forth. So I just threw a few rounds with that little Skinny Bear finesse crankbait, and I'm gonna come out away from the riprap a little bit and throw this underspin. See if there's anything suspended just off this drop over here. I don't think anybody will question the bridge piling. So I'm gonna take this underspin and this cool little swim bait right past the edge. I'm gonna drop it down, count down to about 10, 15, 20, see if I find anything suspended. Then I'm gonna throw those square bills and those little crankbaits by it, and I may even drop a jig way down. That bridge piling's in about 40 to 50 feet of water, so fish still love to butt up right against that piling and hang out, and that's a little bit of shade, and we've got a little opportunity right here. So let's see what I can do. Okay, bridge pilings are not producing. That's okay. We got more spots to hit, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna see if we can find a couple more fish, maybe hiding on some more of this riprap on the opposite side of the bridge. So here we go. Okay, I just went over the point of this riprap right here and saw a lot of fish down low on the bottom, and I think it's jig time. So I'm gonna throw that jig down there and see if there's anything gonna be cooperative here. And guys, I got my first bass, and it's on the jig. The very first bait I started with is a pretty nice one too. Right off some of this riprap in about 10 feet of water. That's a nice fish to get on a Denny Brower structure jig. That's a great deal. So there's my first fish. on the Denny Browder structure jig right out of the mystery tackle box. And it didn't take that long. I've just been covering water, and now it's time to move on to any and all of these other baits that the mystery tackle box has to offer. So I'm gonna put up this jig. It's been an awesome run. We appreciate you. Let's see what else I can do with some of these other baits. So since I just found that jig bite, of course, on the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that Underspin swim bait very close to the bottom, see if I can creep past any more of these fish that are hanging out on this riprap and see what we can do. Time to throw up shallow with this crankbait again. I got a little less weedy bank here and I got some hard cover, so I'm gonna throw this crankbait up in here and see if I can pull one off. All right, that was like the second cast. I bumped it right over a log, and just like they say, that reaction deflection bite is all it took. So there we go. That's my second bass out of mystery tackle box selection here, and this is on the little skinny bear, that little awesome little skinny bear sexy shad crankbait. So that's number 2. And that wasn't long between number 1 and number 2. So we're gonna go ahead and keep on going. I got pliers out for a reason, in hopes that these treble hooks would do the damage, and they did. Now it's time to maybe get the square bill out here. That was 2 casts into this hard cover dink, but it's a bass. All right, let's get the square bill on. And again, watch how quick this is gonna happen, guys. Owner hyper welded quick snaps. Off goes the skinny bear. Reach back down in and get that bream colored Livingston lure. Dive Master Jr. already croaking in my hands. I heard you. And how quick is that? Done deal, guys. I'm already hooked up, ready to go with my next bait. No retying required. No wearing down your line capacity on your reels. Way more efficient. I'm already fishing. Oh, and we're on. That's a second cast on the Livingston, and it's a nice one, I think. He pummeled it. That is absolutely awesome. I got one on the skinny bear, a dink. So I found this shady bank. Oh, it's a nice bass too. Oh, and he got off. Killing me. I can't believe I just lost that fish. Guys, that was a second cast on the Livingston square bill. So these fish are moving up shallow. I found that guy up on the shady bank and he nailed it. All right, good. So that's officially a catch on another bait out of the mystery tackle box. That awesome natural bream color, almost like a ghost pattern, Livingston lure, Dive Master Jr. square bill. So let's throw a couple more casts, see if I can pick up another one real quick, and then we'll move on to the next one, see if we can get one on that swim bait and then that jerk bait. Okay, like I said, folks, I officially caught a fish, or hooked a fish on that Dive Master Jr. square bill, and I'm marking fish again a little deeper. Obviously, it looks like this mystery tackle box is covering all bases. If these fish want to be shallow today, if they want to be deep, I got them on the jig. I got them on a little shallow diving crankbait and square bill. Now it's time to take that underspin swim bait through this deeper edge right here. And I'm seeing fish, so let's see if we can get one to pick it up and go with it. Okay, I'm letting this wind drift me back into this cove. I got a little bit of a ripple on the water. The underspin wasn't producing on those weed edges. In a little deeper water, it's getting more shallow back here in the cove. I got more weeds, and I've got my shallow diving floating Yozuri. Got that little jerkbait. I'd love to catch one on a jerkbait right now. That'd be awesome this early in the fall. It's a lot like throwing a fluke. It just got treble hooks on it, so you gotta be conscious of where you're throwing it when it comes to covering weeds so you don't get hung up too bad, but otherwise it's the same idea as throwing a really erratic soft jerk bait. Oh, get in the boat. I got my jerk bait fish, dude. This is probably the smallest bass I've caught caught all year. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. What a trip that is. I knew I'd probably whack something over by this beaver dam, but I never thought that I'd get the smallest bass of my year, but it happens to be on a mystery tackle box bait. Guys, you know this bait will catch them. This bait, when this water temperature starts to drop just a hair more, I get in the right spot with little ripple on the water, that little number will catch them. But it caught one, and that's given me number 3. I've got to get one on that spinnerbait. If I can get one on that spinnerbait, if I can get one on that underspin with that really cool little swim bait that came in this mystery tackle box, we're doing good, guys. I only have like maybe 20 minutes at the most, so we're doing pretty good. That was pretty fun. That was a tiny bass. But let's move on to some deeper water and some weed edges where I know I might be able to slide that swim bait with an underspin past some bass. So hang tight. Let's see if we can get that last fish to complete this slam. Okay folks, here we go. I'm on one of my favorite points. The wind is dead calm back here. That's not the best thing in the world for this moving bait, but at the same time it may not be a big deal because there's my buoy marker, and there's the weed line drop, and they're down there a ways. So if I crawl this front of their face, right on that weed edge, I found a couple suspended. I might actually have some luck. So let's see what we can do, see if we can get our last mystery tackle box swim bait option to do some damage. Okay folks, that's just about it for my monthly mystery tackle box pro box slam attempt for the month of September. It's been an awesome day. The only bait that couldn't get it done was that little swim bait. I know if I had a couple more minutes I could have done it, but those other baits in that box definitely took care of business on a heavily pressured body of water that I'm normally drop shotting and shaky heading all day on. But that's the point, guys. If you get yourself a mystery tackle box, you're gonna have all kinds of baits coming at you that you're probably not used to throwing, and if you challenge yourself and get yourself a mystery tackle box subscription, you never know what you're going to get, you never know what you're going to challenge yourself with, and you never know what kind of bass you're going to pull out if you do something different. Now, the mystery tackle box subscription-based product, this specific box, the pro box I fished, is exactly $45.06 worth of base for only 25 bucks a month. You can get the standard box, it's $15 a month, which will get you about $25 worth of baits, and it's a no-brainer. If you've got holidays coming up or birthdays coming up and you want to reach out to family and friends to ask them to treat you to a monthly subscription to mystery tackle box, do it. They love knowing exactly what you want to get for those holidays and birthdays. So check out mysterytacklebox.com. Check out their Facebook page, their Twitter page, their Instagram, and their awesome YouTube channel. All kinds of crazy fun stuff going on right there. So be sure to check them out. I'm proud to be part of their team. As always, guys, I appreciate you joining me. As always, I appreciate you subscribing. And until we meet again, over and out.